Awesome, awesome. Listen, if you don't have your camera on, can y'all do me a favor? I want to talk to somebody today. Turn your camera on for me if you can. I want to talk to some people today, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. What's up, Chanel? What's going on, sis? What's happening? All right, so look, today we're going to talk about shifting perspectives. Shifting perspectives. Oh, Lanisha, I see you. What's up, sis? She says, I'm so happy and grateful to embark on this new journey in my life and able to make some real money. Let's go. I love it. I love it. That's exactly what's going to happen. All right, so listen, y'all, we're going to talk about shifting perspectives. Shifting perspectives. Now, when it comes to, building the business, right? We're talking about introducing people to new concepts, right? A new way of making money that they previously may not have been aware of. And we have a systematic approach for getting people introduced, right? But a lot of times we hear rebuttals. We hear, reasons why people can't, right? And most times when you talk to people, they want to do it, and then there's a reason why they can't get started. I was having a conversation with a team member yesterday. Shout out to Alicia. And she was telling me that when she's talking to people, they're not saying no, but they're not saying yes, right? They're not getting started right when they hear it. And they insert the reason why they're not getting started. And they'll say something like, I'll get back to you, or when the time is right, or something along those lines. And really, when I say the term shifting perceptions or shifting perspectives, what I'm really talking about is how to hold a conversation, how to just talk. Because there's a very big difference between convincing somebody to get started, which we do not do. You don't convince nobody or nothing, y'all. But we're not convincing people to get started. What we're really doing is we're just giving them a different way of thinking about what it is that they're about to do, right? That's all I'm doing. That's all I do. When somebody gives me a reason why they can't, or in other words, they give me an excuse, I just give them a different way of looking at what they're looking at and just shift their perspective just ever so slightly. And sometimes that's all that's needed to encourage somebody to go ahead and get started. Now, if you're brand new, I don't expect you to do this on your own. That's what the three-way call is for. And honestly, a lot of you guys would go ahead and hit Platinum 150, Platinum 600 if you did more three-way calls with people who were more experienced. And that is your training ground. That is where you learn how to talk and overcome objectives and different things like that. But it's good for you to get this content, this information, so you can step into learning how to have these conversations. Because honestly, guys, think about it. We weren't taught this stuff at the dinner table. We weren't taught about money in high school. We weren't taught about money in college. So these conversations are new to a lot of people. And then I want you to think about this too, before I even start talking about the rebuttals. Think about this. When was it when you learned that it was possible to make money from the phone? Like, how long ago was it? Type it in the chat. Like, how long ago was it before you were introduced to this world of making money from a phone? Right? Just think about that. It wasn't long. It wasn't long ago. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, November 2021, which is about almost a year and a half ago. Or actually, no, that's less than a year. That's only a few months ago. Alicia, 7 months ago. We are just finding out that this is possible. I want you to think about how life was before you knew this was possible. Like, when you wanted more money, the only thing you could do is sell something or get another job, because that was the limited information that we had. So I want you to think about that when you're talking to people. They don't know what they don't know. and they don't have the belief a lot of people don't have the belief in themselves to believe that they can. So all you're doing is shifting those perspectives. Now, people say things like, they don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. When somebody says that they don't have time, they don't really understand how money works. Time is literally money. If you are punching a clock, your money stops as soon as you clock out. But when you make the decision to become an investor, you're monetizing time. You're monetizing your time, right? And we'll extend that. Some people say, I don't have time to dedicate to the training. I don't have time to learn. And the reason why people say that is because they have a perception that learning how to trade is going to be this difficult endeavor, that is going to be hard. When to be truthfully honest, within your first 7 to 10 days of going through the training, you begin to understand, well, wait a minute, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. It's not hard at all, honestly. It's just hearing new information. And put this term in your vocabulary. It's not hard, it's just new. Anything new is going to be perceived as hard. Think about when you first got your job and they were training you. Think about how nervous you were, right? That's a normal feeling. But after you're confident, after you have done it a few times, right, you get more confident. And here's the thing, when you're in training, you're not doing it by yourself. You got somebody there teaching you and helping you. I want you to think about that and apply it to this. We're not telling people that they got to learn by themselves. Think about how much easier it is to learn something when you have a reference point, when you have someone to go ask a question to, versus learning something by yourself and you don't have anybody to contact when you get stuck. See, here, when you're learning, you have people who are traveling the same road you're traveling, and they can help you. This is truly earn while you learn with help. So I want you to imagine that you're the prospect. How do you think they're going to feel hearing that? It just shifts their perspective just a little bit. I only really need an hour of your time daily, 5 days a week. If you can give me 1 hour a day, I can get you through this training in 7 to 10 days. And then at the other side of that training, you'll understand the basic necessities of what you need to know in order to actually trade. I didn't say 4 years like a college degree. I didn't say 2 years like an associate's. I said 7 to 10 days. You don't have 7 to 10 days, 1 hour a day. Then you can hit them with this. Well, do you have Netflix? Do you have Hulu? What's your favorite television show? You watch Power? What episode you on? Right? You watch Dancing with the Stars? Right? Did you watch the Oscars? You knew Will slapped Chris Rock. You knew that though. Right? Fellas, you watch the playoffs? You watch basketball? See, it's not that you don't have time, it's what you are prioritizing with your time. Everybody has time. Everybody. Nobody's that busy. And if you're telling me that you're too busy to make money while you sleep, that's the wrong type of busy. You too busy to make money while you're sleeping? That's the wrong type of busy. I don't want that type of busy. You see how when you explain it, when you say it that way, it just sounds silly, don't it? Like, I ain't too busy to make money in my sleep. It's literally just explaining in such a way that it makes sense to the individual. We're just shifting perspective just a little bit. Everybody has time. But watch this, everybody's busy too. I'm too busy. Well, listen, there's this gentleman named Mr. Kingdom Cash, Charles Dyson, his wife, Lady Kingdom Cash, Christina Dyson. They got 10 kids, 10. They're extremely busy, but they still make money from their phone. They've been doing this since 2017. It's been 5 years. It's all perspective, right? There's a lady, if you came to the event in Fort Lauderdale that we just came from, this woman is a chairman 25. She did the choreography for the Super Bowl. Like literally the Super Bowl last year, Dr. Dre and everybody else who performed, all the choreography was done by her. She's in the business. She's a chairman 25 and she trades. And she's a choreographer. She had time to build this business, actually get successful, get to $25,000 a month, right? And learn the trade while doing choreography for the Super Bowl. Do you think she's busy? Doctors, lawyers, hair techs, nail techs, you name it. Right? Paralegals, people from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds. Everybody's busy. I'm not too busy to learn how to make money in my sleep. How do you think a prospect is going to take hearing something like that? Does that make sense? It's just literally shifting perspective. So when somebody gives you a rebuttal, what you do is you just, well, let me give you a different way to think about it. Right? Here's another one that people hear frequently. I don't have time to devote to the education. I don't think I have enough time to get into the training. All right, so I'm asking you for 1 hour a day, right? We already did this a little bit with the what's your favorite television show and right and different things like that. But here's another perspective on that. I don't have time. I don't think I have enough time to get into this training to learn this skill. Well, I'm only asking you for an hour a day. Can you give me 3 20-minute increments? Can you give me 2 half-an hours a day? It don't have to be 1 hour totally because the training is broken down into 5-minute, 7-minute, 8-minute videos. You don't have 5 minutes? Right? You can't give me 20 minutes of uninterrupted time, 30 minutes of uninterrupted time in increments. You can't break that hour down. Because if you're telling me, right, that you want to make more money, but you don't have no time, how are you ever going to change your life? Something has to change. It's not the fact that you don't have time, right? It's not even the fact that you can't do it, because you can. Question is, do you want to do it? Do you want to make more money? Or do you want to keep doing what you've been doing and producing the results you've been getting? Because we wouldn't be having this conversation if you weren't interested, if you didn't want more. Just shifting perspectives. And I want you to notice that it's not rude. I want you to notice that it's not condescending. It's literally just the truth. And when you get in this position, when you're talking to people this way, guess what? The perception that that person is going to have of you is that of what? That of a leader. That of somebody that is worthy of following. Because people, honestly, subconsciously, people want to be led. People want to be told what to do. I mean, think about it. Think of how bad you talked about that trainer at that job who didn't properly train you, who didn't train you at all. They just threw you in the fire. All right, you got hired. Hey, go over there and do that. It's like, y'all ain't going to show me how to do what I'm doing? Y'all not going to show me how to do the job? Y'all just going to throw me in the fire? You know how you talk bad about that manager, that trainer that was supposed to help you out on the job. You know you dragged them because you wanted to be told what to do. People want to be told what to do. They want to be helped. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Drop a 7 in the chat if this is making sense. Drop a 7 in the chat if this is making sense. Here's another one. Here's another one. They have a lot going on in their life right now. Family, personal issues, medical reasons. Now, this is a little bit sensitive, right? This is a little bit sensitive because every excuse to every person that's making it is legitimate in their mind. And you got to understand that. They're telling you something that they believe. It's legitimate in their mind. So it's a delicate conversation because they really believe it. That's why they're saying it. But you have to have the strength to shift your perspective just a little bit. It's just a conversation. They might say, I got this going on. I got that going on. My health. Here's the truth. None of that's ever going away. That's life. Everybody always got something going on. I've heard it said like this. In life, you're either coming out of a storm, in the middle of a storm, or approaching a storm. That's life. In life, you're either coming out of a storm, in a storm, or approaching a storm. And when you think about the most successful people, sometimes like when we look at celebrities, we look at them like based on the image that they show. But y'all, they still human. You don't think they got a bad phone call right before they had to do a scene for a movie? You don't think that, basketball players get phone calls they don't like before they got to go out and perform? The thing about a professional is they perform anyway. You always, fellas, we always hear about a football player, famous football player whose mom or grandmother or grandfather died, and then they got to go out on the field and perform, and they ball out. You got to take that same attitude in your real life. Like, if you don't make a decision to elevate despite the things that are going on in life, you'll always use life issues as a reason of why you can't progress. That's the truth. Jennifer Hudson lost 3 of her family members, and within 2 weeks, she had to go perform. Right? Things happen in life. You have to learn how to continue moving forward despite life circumstances. Because that's why the big money makers make the big money. And that's why average money makers make average money. Right? Right? Life is going to happen, personal, family. Even while you're learning how to trade, life is going to happen. Even after you get good at trading, life is going to happen. So if not now, then when? If not now, then when? Here's another one. They don't have the extra finances to get started. I don't have the extra money. This is a good one. This is one of my favorite ones because I like talking about money, if you haven't noticed. So if somebody says, I love everything I heard, I just don't have the money to get started. Here's the conversation you have with that person. We weren't taught to prepare to invest. None of us was. Unless you grew up in an upper middle class family. And even sometimes they don't teach their children to prepare to invest. You know what we're all taught? We gotta save money. For what? Let me see if y'all heard the same thing I heard. You gotta save money for what? For what? Save money for what's the term? You got to save money for what? Rainy day. Come on, Nari. You had the same mom I had. Save money for a rainy day. And guess what? That rainy day always comes, don't it? Rainy day always comes. See, if you were taught to prepare to invest, you would have been prepared for this opportunity. And it's not to any fault of your own, because millions of people were taught the same thing, right? Save money for a rainy day. But what you're really supposed to save money for is for times like this, for opportunities that come. Now, if you didn't save money for opportunities like this, you're saying you don't have the extra finances to get started. Is that where we stop? Like, think about it. When do you have extra money? And when you do get extra money, what do you usually do with it? You go spend it. That's what you do. So postponing getting started because you never were taught to save for investing, that's not going to work. If you really want to elevate, you got to make a sacrifice. You got to make a sacrifice. Let me ask you a question. That flat screen TV on the wall, can you live without it for 30 to 60 days? Right? Could you live without it for that? What's the most expensive thing you done bought in the last 3 months that you really didn't need? You see, as a leader, you gotta teach, you gotta show people the way. Take that flat screen TV off the wall and sell it. And you know why you can tell them that? Because you could tell them, my mentor, Charles Dyson, who has 10 children, he did it. He sold his children's clothes when he didn't have money. I sold a firearm when I didn't have money. I sold my own clothes when I didn't have money, specifically to take advantage of opportunity. Specifically to take advantage of opportunity. To elevate, not to go buy something else. Watch this. Here's another thing that you need to educate people about. Do you know what credit is really for? Credit is not meant to buy TVs and couches and furniture and cars. That's not the real reason you're supposed to use credit. You know what you're supposed to use credit for? Making money. That's what Visa and MasterCard are for. That's what Visa and MasterCard is for. That's what Discover is for. Right? Use money to make money. We don't use credit for material things. We're supposed to use credit to elevate financially. Because that's what wealthy people do. See, nobody sat down and had these conversations with us. And this is like literally, this is a financial education platform. You need to know that, right? So these conversations, they give people a different way of thinking. Even if they don't get started that day, when something happens in their life, when they get that flat tire and they start thinking about money, they're going to refer back to that conversation that they had with you, like, because they need money. And then they're going to think about the conversation they had with you, teaching them about money. Maybe I need to go listen to Tracy. Maybe I should have just listened to Nard. I need to call Nard. Dang, Quenisha tried to tell me I need money right now. Let me hit her up and see what she was talking about. Because when you go through financial pain, what your mind starts doing is looking for a solution. And if you had that honest conversation with them 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, their mind will automatically refer back to that solution you presented them with. Right? Here's another one. I don't have the extra money, the extra finances to start trading with. I don't have the extra finances to start trading with. You don't have $50? So you don't eat out at all. You never eat out. When you go to work, you taking peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day, right? Right. You don't never go to Starbucks. Not you. Them long lines, you ain't in them. You don't never go to Starbucks, right? Right. You don't. You just in the house on the weekend. You don't hang out with nobody. You don't go nowhere, right? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Be honest. Be honest, right? Listen. It's not the fact that you don't have the money to start trading. You can start your trade account with anywhere from $100 to $150. I'm not saying you need $1,000 to start your trade account. You can start with $100 to $150, right? And here's the thing, right? I'm glad you mentioned Christmas gifts, Chanel. When Christmas rolls around, somehow, some way, them gifts be under the tree, don't they? You make a way when a way has to be made, right? But when we're talking about financial elevation, you got to approach this with the same mentality. You got a choice. You can either use the reason that you're giving me as a reason why you can't get started, or you could take that same reason and overcome it and change your life. Because people are winning, and this is where you go into testimonies. This is where you go into testimonies. Now, if you don't know no testimonies, everybody right now, I love doing this. Everybody right now, drop in the chat your biggest day trading and how long you've been a part of the platform. Drop it in the chat right now. I love doing this because you get to see how real this is. Drop in the chat your biggest day trading and how long you've been a part of the platform, right? I love doing this because you get to see that this is working. This is working for people, right? And you got to know these stories. So during the conversation, you can infuse belief into them. See, stories is what push people over the top. You got to know stories. Here we go. Simone, she made $22,000 by accident. 3 years. Shout out to you, Simone. Chanel says she flipped her crypto account from $200 to $700 and then broke it down to 3 new accounts. She got 3 trade accounts. That's dope. Nari said she made $1,500, right? She's been on this platform for 2 years. She retired 41 days after she got started, and she only started her trade account with $50. This is why you need to know stories. You don't think somebody's going to get excited about hearing that? Alicia Cart, she says she made $1,400 at biggest day trading. She's been on this platform 7 months, y'all. Right? Danita, right? $1,500. She's been on the platform 2+ years. Come on, Jane, biggest day trading, $2,200. Been on the platform 2 years. Yolanda, biggest day trading, $700. Been on the platform for 2 years. Chanel, biggest day trading, over $500. Right? Jane said she retired 1.5 years after she got started. Y'all, people work 40, 50 years. And people are retiring in 41 days, in a year and a half, in 2 years. Nari, that's why I keep doing it, because people need to get that excitement. They need to understand that you're in an environment where this stuff is possible. The fact that you know how to push a button and produce money from your phone, you can take these stories and transfer it to other people. Just listen, you need to do this. It's working. Right? Nari, I got one recorded that we did a Zoom with testimonies. We did that like 2 years ago. We could do it again. We could do a Zoom where we just do testimonies. I got one It's an hour long, an hour of nothing but testimonies. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. I'm gonna drop it in the paid members chat for y'all. But we gonna do another one. We could do another one. We could do another one. Eric, I know Eric's just had last night a $2,200 trading day or something like that, over $2,000 trading day. Or Patrick, my bad. Patrick had over a $2,000 trading day. Patrick is funding his dream of learning how to fly planes, of becoming a pilot. He's funding it from trading. He made the money. It costs over $10,000 to learn how to be a pilot. He's paying for it cash from trading. Nari paid off her student loans from trading. Christian took an $82 trade account to $6,000 in 12 hours trading crypto. $82. Everybody you speak to has $82. This is why you need to get in the environment and stay in the environment, learn these testimonies. If I were you, I would be writing these testimonies down and memorizing them. Because when you talk to people, this right here, the testimonies, the information is going to educate them, but the testimonies is what's going to make, I need to do this. Listen, that 235 starts coming small, it becomes smaller and smaller in their mind. Like, hold up, 230, you said 235, right? That's it? All of us, before that, 235, that's a lot of money. You start talking about them testimonies, you mean it's only 235? You see how the perspective just changes? I'm telling y'all, all we do is shift perspectives. And even if they don't get started, no sweat off your back, you just move on to the next person. Everybody won't say yes the same day. Right? Everybody won't say yes the same day, but some will. And when you stay consistent, when you keep posting, when you keep moving forward without them, and then you go produce some success without them, those people, they're going to look at you and say, dang, I should have got started. I'm ready. Come on. I watch that video all the time. I got that video saved to my computer. Christopher Derrick, he took a $182 account to $64,000 in 48 hours after only 2 years of trading. I know that testimony by heart, Simone. 2 years of trading. He only been trading 2 years. And when he started, he was living on his friend's couch and had no experience. That's what we can do here. You see how the belief starts raising when we start talking about this stuff? You get motivated to get into that training. You get motivated to go live. You get motivated to come to the skill strategy trainings. This is the stuff. Using Fibonacci. Come on, Simone, come on. So listen, you know, the whole I don't have the money thing, we talking about two $100 bills, a $20 bill, a $10 bill, and a $5 bill. 235, that's it. 235, that's it. That'll get you in the door. Right? But yeah, Chanel, you know I'm down. We could do a lot. We could do a recorded Zoom of nothing but testimonies. We can do that this week. Right? We'll get it done. We'll get a brand new one done where everybody can come on, tell their testimony, how long they've been trading, what their biggest day trading was, and we can drop it on YouTube and y'all can use it. We'll get a brand new one going. Right? But last thing I want to say before I let y'all go. So a majority of this call has been spent talking about shifting perspectives of the prospect. But it doesn't stop here. We gotta shift the perspective of the people in the business too. We gotta shift the perspective. Let's go, Simone. Come on. Listen, we gotta shift the perspective of people in the business too. I wanna give y'all a revelation. I'm gonna give y'all a revelation, right? How many of y'all put a 777 in the chat if you plan on being a trader for life? if you plan on being a successful trader for the rest of your life, if you plan on being here 18 months, put a 777 in the chat. Okay. Let me help y'all understand something. All right. This is my calculator, right? Let me make this. Nah. It's my calculator. We don't need all that. All right. Me and Christina have been on this platform for 5 years. Okay, 5 years. And we're on the elite package. Okay. So 5 years, 12 months in a year, that's 60 months. And then we just went through March. So 61 complete months. Started February 2017. 61 complete months. Okay. So the first month we paid $325. Okay. So that makes 60 months at $275 a month. Plus the $325. I would have had to pay $16,825 to this point right now. Me and Christina would have had to pay $16,825. Guess how much money came out of my pocket of this $6,825? Guess how much money I paid? The only money that came out my pocket was that initial $325. Why? Because we have a leveraging system that allows us to make money while we learn how to trade. See, we've made way more. What number did I just say? 275, oops. 275 times 60 plus 325. We've made way more than $16,800 on this platform. See, rule number one in the Dyson household is whatever money goes out, it gotta come back. Whatever investment we make, that money is coming back into this household. It's not an option. And you have a leveraging system that gives you the ability to learn how to trade and get paid while doing it. And all you got to do is make the decision that you're going to help other people learn how to trade on this platform, right? Not convince them, but just simply give them the ability. Like I said, all of us just found out that this was even a thing, that it was possible to make money from a phone. How many people are you walking past every single day that don't know they can make money from a phone? How many people are on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page right now that don't know it's possible to make their rent and all their utilities, all the money, all the expenses for their household can be made from a phone? How many people do you think are on your page that don't know that's possible? See, here's the thing. This is the truth. I'll tell you guys the truth. When it comes to this thing, right? There's only two types of people. There's the person who holds on long enough to start making money before they get tired of paying the monthly fee and quit. So that person makes it. They hold on long enough to actually start making money. That person, they just make the decision, I just want to learn how to trade. I don't want to tell nobody about it, right? And with that line of thinking, there's only two types of people. It's the person who makes it and they outlast that feeling of stopping because they don't want to pay the monthly fee. They actually begin making money. Or the person doesn't make it, they quit. Nobody quits trading because they don't want to trade. Most people on this platform, they usually quit because they get tired of paying the monthly fee. It's the only reason. And that's sad. And I'm telling you, the environment you're in is very special, because there's other teams, people get started, they don't hear from the person who got them started ever again. They don't even know who to contact. They didn't get added to a group. They made the payment And the only thing they got was an email, and they lost after that. You have a whole community of people that's ready to help you, ready to serve you. That's where you're at. We want to help you get to Platinum 600, where you're making $600 a month while you're paying $175 a month, and you're $425 in profit every month, or you're making $600 a month and you're paying $275 a month for the elite package, and you're $325 in profit every month. And over the next 18 months, instead of paying over $3,000 to learn how to trade, you made almost $6,000 while learning how to trade. That's why we help people build this business. And at the bare minimum, I want to let you know, you're not really in until you're 2 and 3. Because of that fact. Because if you don't get rid of that monthly fee, it's only a matter of time. We got to help you learn how to trade without the pressure of the monthly fee. Because if you made sacrifices to get started to begin with, we don't want you trying to look around your house looking for broken phones, trying to come up with the monthly fee, trying to learn to trade with that pressure. We don't want that for you. What we want is to put you in position to be successful while you're learning how to trade. So shifting perspectives doesn't stop just with prospects. Shifting perspectives is a never-ending thing. That's why we do these trainings. That's why we go over this stuff. Right? I'm telling you guys, you're in the right place with the right people. But if you make the decision to plug in the trainings like you got yesterday, trainings like, shout out to Paris, last 2 weeks, phenomenal trainings on the Believe Bigger Faster call. Plug into people like Justin Owens and the Run to Play family when we do the mentorship calls on Sundays. Then make sure that you go ahead and make the decision to go Platinum 1000 so you can get on the leadership calls. Make the decision to go Platinum 600 so you can get in the TDL chat. Right? I know this is longer than normal, but I think this is important. We can't put a time on this. This is the stuff that's going to get you paid. Understanding this stuff, not only does it help you, but when you start speaking like this, when you take this content and start repeating it, when you're talking to people, you're going to start finding out, oh, snap, I could actually, that person signed up without me needing a 3-way. Why? Because you got into the content and you learned how to shift perspective. But another thing that you got to understand, and you can't fight me on this. You can't fight me on this, y'all. The real place where your perspective shifts is here at the company events. We'll be in Glendale, Arizona, September 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. Listen, y'all, you got to travel. We meet up 3 times a year, 4 times a year. This is much bigger than just being on Zoom. Way bigger than just being on Zoom. When you get into a room with 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 people and everybody is on one accord. See, when you're out in the world, you're surrounded by doubt. You're surrounded by people on a certain frequency that settle for an average lifestyle, that don't believe in going after what it is that they want, that don't think that things are possible and that they can make, $10,000 in a month, $100,000 in a month, $1 million in a month. That it's not something that they can even conceptualize. So when you start sharing big dreams with average people, naturally they're going to shoot it down because that's what they believe. But you need to purposefully put yourself in an environment where this stuff is real. And people are going to feed you information that's going to cause your belief to increase, that you can make it, that, lavish lifestyles are not reserved for just Beyonce and Jay-Z and Denzel Washington and Angela Bassett and Tiger Woods and LeBron James. Lavish lifestyles are not just reserved for entertainers. That's why you gotta be there, so you can get around this information. I promise you, your life will never be the same. Your mind is like a t-shirt. Once it's stretched, it can never return to its original form. Plus, we're doing a mansion party September 15th. That's gonna be real fun. The first day of the event. And if you did not know, let me make sure you know this. If you did not know, in the Facebook group, you know, one of the many jobs that I held, I used to work for an airport. I used to work for the Philadelphia airport, right? For the US Airways Express. So I know a thing or two about finding cheap flights. And guess what I did? I gave you the information absolutely free. I gave it to you free. If you go into the group, you push this little arrow, what are you gonna find? Finding cheap flights to attend events. Y'all, I fly for $40. I fly for $80. I fly for $50. See, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars to get to events. I literally give the instructions for how to find these cheap flights. And if you start now, you could potentially find a flight to Arizona for only $110, for only $75, for only $120. I literally spell it all out for you. So even your flight can be cheap. But like Bob was saying, you just got to make the decision to get there. West Palm Beach was a mind shifting. West Palm Beach was mind shifting. The environment was explosive and intense, unbelievable, powerful. I'm telling you guys, I said Fort Lauderdale, I meant West Palm Beach. West Palm Beach, we just came back a few weeks ago. It was amazing. It was amazing. This environment, this platform, this endeavor that you embarked on, honest to God, can change your life in 6 to 18 months. But the leaders of this, I'm only telling you this stuff. I'm only telling you what I know. I'm only telling you what David told us. So this information is worth $1.8 million a month because that's what David makes. $1.8 million a month, and he's having $1 million trading days. I done lost count. That $50 million goal he set, it probably already got hit. Do you know where you're at? This stuff is real. Right? But anyway, shut up, Charles. You talk too much. Let them people go. All right. I'm gonna let y'all go. All right, Skittles in about 10 minutes. I hope y'all got a lot of information, a lot of encouragement from this call. I'm gonna upload this to my YouTube page, drop it in the chat for you guys. I'll also drop that 1-hour testimony video that I told you about. I'll drop that in the chat. Y'all, I'm gonna upload yesterday's Believe Bigger Faster call to YouTube as well, so y'all can watch it off Facebook as well. And make sure you get your tickets today, right? Make sure you get your tickets today, y'all. Get the ticket to the event today. It's a must. You got to be there. The single most important, let me tell you this, the single most critical thing that you can do to give yourself the biggest chance to be successful is get to Arizona. Get to Glendale, get to Glendale, Arizona, get your ticket. That's the single biggest thing that can contribute to your success and going to that higher place that you're trying to get to. Immediately, whatever needs to be done, whatever you got to do to get that ticket to make sure you are in Glendale, Arizona, I promise you, you will not regret it. All right, everybody be blessed. I'm gonna get all this stuff uploaded. We are doing Skittles in 10 minutes. I'm gonna get that link together and drop it in the chat for you guys. Let's win, family. Let's win. Let's just go win. All right, get excited, stay excited, and I promise you, your life will never be the same. Everybody be peace. Everybody be blessed. Peace. Shout out to Alicia who inspired this call, by the way. Shout out to you, Alicia.